Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ronnie. I feel like a mess. I just got back from work, took a shower. It's gonna be a rough week for me. I've been training for my Big Sur marathon and have more shifts to work now. So I don't know. I'm trying to keep my YouTube goals in check. I'm a bit busy. My plate is full. I started a run club, like Celeste side quest. Like I don't know what I'm doing. But today's video is brought to you by me. And I wanted to make a video talking about my crazy church experiences. And I feel like they were crazy. I feel like they were insane. But maybe it's just me. But I did write notes because you guys know how I am very sporadic. I'm very ADHD-esque. I'm sorry. I try my best to not say like or not pause or whatever. Or I try to cut it out, but I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of awkward. Anyways, so, I'm going to have my phone so I just can go through these and you guys could just have a story time about my crazy church stories. And trigger warning because there is a lot of PDF files, stories, or I want to say essay, or just a lot of triggering topics, to be honest, especially if you have religious trauma. But these are the crazy things that happen in my church, and this is in no particular order. And if I do go off script, it is because I remembered something that I didn't jot down. But my brain just goes everywhere, so I will be reading off a screen because I did write it down so that I could give you guys a more formal video. So, my church had a youth group that was 18 younger girls, and men that were 18 plus, not married, because they were still considered a teenager, even though a lot of them weren't virgins, which is like, whatever, right? Like, we're not gonna shun people, right? Because we're not religious, but it's crazy because normally in these settings, the older men preyed on young girls and waited until they were 18, even though they knew them and spoke to them since they were like 12 or younger. And a lot of moms or like parents saw that as like, oh, he really loves her because he waited for her. And I think that's crazy. I think that's a very predatory behavior, but that's just me. And then this is another story, and mind you, this is like trauma that I dealt with too, like because my mom was very misogynistic and I had so much things engraved. But I'm so glad I'm not in this like situation anymore because it was not it. There was this one guy who was 18 talking to a 12/13-year-old girl, and he would act suicidal and cut his skin and send it to her to make it her problem and so that she would give him attention. But here's the thing, like, she kept entertaining it too, which it's not her fault. But this was just the setting and like the type of like vibe that was acceptable in my church, where like men can do whatever and like be predatory towards little girls. And I just think it's insane to make a healthy young girl have to deal with a 18 plus man's like suicidal tendencies or attention seeking tendencies. Not diminishing suicidal behavior, but he did it because he didn't get like certain attention from her, and she was 13 and he was 18. So that was like number 2. But when number 3 is my step cousin, who was 13, was talking to a man that was older than 20. I think he was 24, but I don't remember. Don't quote me on it. I told myself it wasn't a big deal because when her mom found out, she'll correct that situation. Later that month, I saw him sitting with her family and going on vacation with her family. And when I turned around, I told my mom that that's crazy and insane. She didn't say anything, and my mom said, it's okay. It's better she's with a Christian man than with someone from the world, and as long as her mom approves of it, it's okay. And what I hate about my church is that they were so bad. Like, they did not want people having schmecks before marriage. They did not want people doing the dirty. And it's crazy because, yeah, that's like the end goal. Like, because that was such a tippy-toe subject, it was literally all they ever thought about, literally. And then like all these girls getting married so young at 18, and I'm sorry, but love and marriage is not the only thing that matters in this world. These girls could have like grown into like hobbies they love, into that they're their true selves and who they want to be, but because love is such a, or like this idea of marriage and whatever is like ingrained weirdly in their head from religion and religious like topics, they got married so young and to older men and men who knew them when they were girls, like little girls, and like I can't do anything about it. Like it's just, that's just the culture. And even if you call the cops, and I think I wrote that down, if you call the cops, they literally don't care, because to them they'll lie because people from the world just don't understand. It's crazy. Anyways, we would start church hella early, and they would end so late to try to get the Holy Spirit to manifest, and we'd be there till 12 a.m. at night, and I had school at 6 a.m. and my mom just didn't care. Forced me to go, and I'd fall asleep during prayer. This isn't that crazy, but I was essentially clocking in 30-ish hours of church every week because we had church 5 days a week, and Sunday was all day, almost all day. And mind you, that's like when they like dance around or whatever, and it was just so fake. Like you could tell that they were faking it to just look good. But, and like, don't come for me. I don't want Christian people to come for me, but I just think it's insane that like how they went about it. It just didn't feel natural. I feel like I felt the vibe and it was just not it. That's not really how, I don't know. It just felt ingenuine. But that was just me. But I thought it was crazy too that I was sleep deprived as a kid, on top of suicidal and like a lot of other things. I was just so depressed as a kid. And on top of that, sleep deprived. Like I still don't get sleep as an adult. And I told you this, I'm in my like 10 questions or whatever, because I was like, I don't know if I'll drop some lore on this page, but I have so much lore and I hate it. But literally, I have to get this on my chest, because either I'm gaslit and this is like not that crazy, or I was gaslit to think that this is all crazy or whatever, or they were gaslighting me and this is all crazy. But yeah. 5, there was a guy, and at the time my mom, being the misogynist she is, said women should date older men because women get old and ugly fast, so they should be super young and the guys super old so that they age at the same time. This is dumb as hell, but it affected me as a kid, and I was 17 talking to a 22-year-old because I didn't think that was bad at the time, since at 15 in church culture is considered an adult. So I met up with the guy and he tried to talk, you know, like a little date or something, because at the time I wasn't boy crazy. I never will be boy crazy. And all he did was try to kiss me and fondle me and tried to touch me, and I pushed him away and told him to go away and go home. And then he tried to apologize through text, and I never forgave him, and later found out that he was talking to the same 13-year-old from the suicidal guy story in number 1, and he tried to tell her to stay home from church so he could meet up with her. He also was talking to another 13-year-old where he sent her nudes and then tried to demand nudes from her too. And then I put the disclaimer where I said, by the way, I'm no longer associated or in touch with any of these people here, and all these individuals and their parents lie about anything that occurred to keep their image from church, or claim that people from the world just don't understand why this is a problem. But literally, there was like so many stories that are crazy because, again, my church is weird, or my old church, it's not my church anymore. I don't associate. And they still go at it. Like, I always hear crazy stuff here and there, and like, not that it's my business or my problem, but there's no justice being served there. Like, they like to suppress everything, and they are in favor of men. They are just pure evil, in my opinion. Like, that is not a church. That is not the house of God. That is like some random ass place where they do terrible things, in my opinion. Like, they just have so much power, like, in this big group of people, and it's just so evil because then they just go against the like less cool, less popular, like literally less popular people, less fortunate people, less rich people in the church. And that's why I hate churches, and I will never go back to one because I just can't do it. Like, I know not all of them are not like that. Don't come for me in the comments, but I cannot. I just cannot. My experience was just so horrible. It was so scarring. Obviously a lot of things like happened to me, because there was this one guy too that he like got to the pastor first and like told him stuff about me, and I'm like, you know what, I don't care. I hope you get the karma you deserve. But yeah, I hate that church. I'm so traumatized. Had to get it off my chest. And I hope you guys can actually just give me better words of motivation, because I'm feeling a bit depressed lately. And I think about all this stuff and how, like, I didn't grow up as a kid and I had this traumatizing experience as a kid, and on top of that, I feel like my adult life is just as hard and just as frustrating, which is why I have YouTube. So thank you for any words of encouragement. Thank you for watching, for your time, for everything. I guess I do just like sometimes want someone to hear what I ever had to say. And I remember there was this quote that said, sometimes the things that were unfair to you always feel that unfair because no one ever acknowledged that it was unfair to you, and you can't get past it because it was always unfair to you. And I think that's like my issue, is that no one ever validated how I felt, no one ever validated my feelings, no one ever validated anything. And it was so hard to grow up in a place always feeling invalidated and always feeling crazy and never having anyone to hear you out. I'm trying not to cry. So yeah, I do these YouTube things for me. I do my music for me. I do my art for me. But I also do it for everyone else who can relate and find a safe place to be understood and heard. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like, subscribe, and I hope you guys have a good day. I got nothing worth reminiscing if it's not you.